Justin Chamness here, realestatewholesalersclub.com. Let me be the very first person to welcome you to the private VIP daily group coaching. I'm very excited that you're here. I know that you're going to get a lot out of this if you attend some of the coaching sessions during the week and some of the call labs. There's no way you cannot make massive progress right here at realestatewholesalersclub.com. We're here. We really believe in you. We're here for you. We want to help in any way we can. So never feel like a question you want to ask is a dumb question or something you shouldn't say or whatever. Just make yourself right here at home. We are your new family, and I'm your brother. Hi, I'm Justin. I'm your brother. All right, now let's talk about being a full spectrum wholesaler, what it means to be a full spectrum wholesaler, to be able to do wholesale deals on ugly houses, which we've all heard of, but also pretty houses, which you may or may not have heard of, what it takes to become a
transaction engineer.
Okay, a transaction engineer. So let's jump into this short 20-minute training where I really break down the deal strategy tree so you can see all of the various techniques that there are for wholesaling and how it's really quite simple to master them all. All right, let's take no more time talking about it. Let's just jump right into it. Again, I'm glad you're here, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye. All right, so this is what I call the deal or the strategy tree. Why do we call it wholesaling? When you say wholesaler or wholesaling, what do we particularly mean?
Buying a house and selling it for more.
Okay. Buy low, sell high, right?
Right.
And what's the process that we use to do this?
Assignment.
An assignment, okay? An assignment. Sometimes we use a double escrow closing instead, okay? But assignment is typically the way that it's done with wholesaling. You put a house under contract at a low price, then you turn around and sell that contract with the house at a higher price. You assign that contract over to the tenant, or not the tenant buyer, to the buyer for an assignment fee. That's how you get paid. Pretty simple. So it requires a contract with the seller and an assignment agreement with your end buyer. The purchase and sale agreement has a lower price on it than the assignment agreement. The assignment agreement has a higher price on it, and that's the difference is your pay. That's wholesaling, right? Am I right?
Hey, Justin.
Yeah.
And in wholesaling, it also has to do it. It also has to have a little bit of meat left on the bone to be able to transfer it to an end buyer, whereas retail might be closer to the top of the mark.
Yeah.
Right.
So
right?
yeah. Well, there has to be. Yeah. There has to be enough spread there for you to make some money between what you contracted it for and what you can sell it for. But the difference is your pay. So what can be assigned? Anybody? What can be assigned legally? What are you legally able to assign in life? Anything? Someone tell me.
Contract.
Your equitable interest.
Yeah, your legal rights, your legal interest. I mean, your legal rights. You could probably assign those away, right?
Mm-hmm.
You could assign your legal rights. You could assign your children. Okay, you could assign anything.
Pretty much anything.
Yeah, your legal interest you can assign. So your legal interest in the first contract over here when you buy low, that legal interest, you're selling that contract over here at a higher price. Okay, for example, you have a contract with a homeowner for $100,000. The house is worth $180,000. Okay, after repair value is $180,000. You've got a buy low price with the seller of $100,000. You find an end buyer to buy your contract and the property for $115,000. Okay, you assign your contract over to that buyer for $115,000. You keep the difference of between $100,000 and $115,000. You keep $15,000. That's using an assignment agreement. A double escrow closing, there's going to be additional fees and costs and all that stuff, but that's also another way of closing deals. Anything can be assigned. Okay, that's very important to note. Anything can be assigned. All right, so let's talk about the deal tree here, the strategy tree. The strategy tree, we're talking about calling sellers, and we're going to put sellers into two categories. A seller that has a large loan on the property. What do I mean by that? Somebody tell me. Seller has a large loan on the property.
No equity.
Okay. So here's the two categories. The seller has a large loan on the property, or the seller has a free and clear, or he's close. So a large loan means he's got the property leveraged. There's a loan that's on the deed. Okay. There's a mortgagor, a lien holder. Okay. So that lien holder usually is the home loan lender. Okay. Right. It's like, Westcovia Bank or Fidelity Bank or some bank. It's some kind of mortgage company that has, it's the home loan lender. If they have a large loan on the property, meaning they have very little equity. I think Ed said that. Okay. So they have a large loan on the property, meaning they have very little equity, or there's a different kind of seller out there. And this seller has a house that's nearly free and clear, or it is free and clear, meaning there's no loans or the loans have been paid off. Okay. All right. So inside these two categories, we have this. We have government-backed loans, and we also have conventional loans. Does that make sense? So if the seller has a large loan on the property, that loan is either a government loan or it's a conventional loan. What do I mean by government loan versus conventional? Someone help me out.
FHA.
That would be an example of what?
Government loan.
Right. What are some other government loans?
VA.
VA and the other one for the rural area.
Okay. FHA, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, VA, all that stuff. The rural, there's several. Okay. But the government-backed loans, there's one technique or one list of techniques and then strategies. And then for the conventional, there's a different set of strategies we may use. What's a conventional loan?
A loan that is not backed up from the government, basically from the bank itself or from other institution, but not backed out from the government.
Yeah, it's just a loan from a financial institution. It's not a government insured loan like that. It's not a government backed loan. Exactly. So there's two different types of loans here. It's important to know which is which when you're making your offers because of this right here. We could make a cash offer on either one of these, couldn't we? If we ran into an ugly house deal and let's say, they had a pretty large loan on the property, but we could still buy it pretty discounted or what have you, we might still make a cash offer. Could we make a cash offer on a government loan type situation like that? If the seller had a government loan, could we make cash offer? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah, why not? You can buy anything with cash. Okay. Conventional loan, could you offer cash?
Yes. Certainly.
Well,
Of
sure.
course.
Sure. Okay, so let's go on down the list here. Lease option on a government loan versus over here subject to. Why is it a lease option over here with the government loans and over here it's subject to? Somebody help me out. Lease
Okay.
option over here. Why am I doing lease option on a government loans, a seller with a government loan, but I'm going to do a subject to over here with a conventional loan?
Because with the backed up government loan is way harder to get a subject to for all the different clauses they have the loan itself.
Yeah, it's dangerous.
Yeah.
Okay. Because of the due on sale clause, because of,
Well, the
so on and so forth.
conventional has as well the due on sale clause, but they were a little bit looser on the criteria than
There
the
you go.
government backed loan.
Yeah, well said. Well said. Okay, so there's there's the reason why this is lease option and not subject to. Okay. Now let's talk about number 3 here real quick. Option agreement over here. When the seller has a large loan on the property and they have a government loan, FHA, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac. Let's say you're talking to a homeowner and they've got a motivation to sell, but that you find out, you ask them, hey, you know, you guys owe pretty much what you're asking here, or what's the situation? Oh yeah, we owe pretty close to what we're, you know, it's about 15,000 under, I think is what we've paid down. But yeah, it's pretty much a large loan on that property, not a lot of equity there. Okay, well, I might make a cash offer, but doubtful, okay, because I'm an investor and that's not going to fit my criteria too good. But I might do a lease option here, wouldn't I? Okay, I could just go with a straight option without the lease. Okay,
What's the difference between the two, Justin? A lease option and an option?
Yeah, a lease option is just an option that has a lease during the term. Okay, so every option agreement is an option to purchase that property during a set time frame for that price. An option does not have the lease. It's just an option. So the guy may live in the house in the meantime. He may rent it out. He may, you know, do all kinds of things, but you have the option to buy that thing. But you don't have the option to lease it. So we can make money doing lease options, okay, let's do this real quick while we're here. Cash buyers, who's our cash buyers? If we've got a cash offer that we're making, who's our buyers? Somebody real quick, who's our cash offer buyers?
Fix and flipper, landlord, whoever was willing to buy.
Yep, fix and flippers, landlords primarily. Okay.
Oh.
What about lease options?
Tenant buyers.
That's a tenant buyer.
Tenant
What about
buyer.
an option? Who buys options?
And buyer as well.
Could be
Yep.
a retail buyer. It could be a landlord. Okay. Could be other things.
It
All
depends
right.
on the condition of the property.
Yeah.
That who is going to be your buyer with an option? It depends on the condition of the property.
That's absolutely true. Absolutely true. Okay, so let's go over here to the conventional side. Cash offer, same thing. Subject to. Okay. We don't talk a lot about subject to here, and I'll show you why here in a minute. Wraparound. We don't talk a lot about that either, but we can talk about that. Brandon Simmons said you could list the property, but that's only if you're a realtor, right? Or refer to a realtor if you're not a realtor. Okay. So you could do that there. On the government loan stuff. Over here, now we get to the lease option. Okay. Then number 5 is the option, and then number 6 is refer to a realtor. This is how you should start thinking through possible strategies that fit certain scenarios. And once you get a good handle on this strategy tree and you're able to execute these strategies, I think you can consider yourself, what do we call it? What is it? Somebody calls it, it's what is it?
Full spectrum investor.
Well, full spectrum wholesaler, but
Transaction engineer.
oh, there we go. Transaction.
Yeah.
Transaction engineer. That's what everybody wants to be. Okay, so let's go over here and flip the coin over and talk about sellers that have free and clear houses. We can always make a cash offer. Okay.
Seller financing.
Okay. Seller carryback or seller financing. Okay. Then a lease option, right? Then an option, and then refer to realtor. Okay. If this is the first time your eyes have ever laid upon this, you might be thinking, holy cow, I know nothing about a lot of those things. That's okay. I don't want you to feel overwhelmed. Let's look at it from a very analytical viewpoint. Cash offers. How are cash offers made? how are cash offers made? Because look, we can service all types with cash offers.
Purchase and sale agreement.
A purchase and sale agreement, that's easy. Okay, how do we do the math? We buy low, we sell high. Okay, you learn how to find out what a property's value is, what its after repair value is, and you make an offer that's commensurate with that, usually based upon a 70 or 80% rule. Okay, so that's cash offer. We can handle cash offers, so it doesn't matter who you're talking to, you got cash offers in the bag. You can do that. That's one of the tools in your toolbox. Number 2, lease option over here. Well, here's a lease option down here on number 4. And over here, seller has free and clear or close. We have a lease option over here at number 3. So you can see what I did. Maybe it's becoming more clear to you. Look at number 3, an option. Number 5, an option over here. And number 4, an option over here. So you can see maybe a little more clearly now that me and my business, what I consider full spectrum wholesaling is being able to do ugly houses and pretty houses. Ugly houses in these situations with large loans, or maybe they're free and clear, I'm more than ready to make a cash offer. That's me. I'm personally equipped to make a cash offer. Okay. That's an ugly house. But what if it's not an ugly house? Okay, then I'm going to be able to still service all 3 types because I know lease options. Lease options, lease option, lease option. Okay, that's pretty houses. If I can't get either of those, I do understand options. So I can just take a simple option on it, and I can do that with all 3 types too. So to become a full spectrum wholesaler, the shortcut is to get the understanding of making cash offers to ugly houses. And in addition to that, learning how to make lease option offers on the pretty houses. And then it doesn't matter what kind of deal you're talking about. Those will work for all 3. And if those won't work, you could even add the option in. And you could do that. That to me is being a full spectrum wholesaler. Okay. Now, to be a transaction engineer, you'll want to add in your sub 2 and your wraparound and your seller carryback. That's it. Those 3 things. Now that's, to me, that's an analytical view of what we're staring at right here. All right. So ask yourself, how close am I, or how far away am I from being a transaction engineer? Am I a transaction engineer already? Or am I just okay with doing these cash offers? That's all I know. Okay. Well, you can make cash offers to anybody. That's true, but you're really only going to be able to win on them ugly deals. Okay. So these pretty deals like this, you got to add something else. So I added in lease options because that's what fit me, and that's what makes me able to do pretty house deals. Okay. So I've got ugly house cash offer. I've got pretty house lease option. And sometimes I have pretty house option without the lease. Looking at it analytically, just exactly what you said. Yeah. The commonalities are the cash offer, the lease option. That covers, that's great because that gives me the ability to make offers on pretty houses. Do you guys and gals realize how many wholesaler and wholesaler wannabes are out there that don't know how to make an offer on a pretty house at all? Crazy, man. You know how much money they're losing every time they get on the phone? Okay, so yeah, cash offer, lease option, or option. So I've already achieved the full spectrum wholesaling doing ugly houses and pretty houses just with cash offers and lease options. Okay. So in order to be that transaction engineer that I want to be, though, I need to come up in those other areas which just real simple. It's just 3 things: sub 2, right? Wrap around, seller, carry back. That's it. How hard can that be? So I guess the thing I'm trying to get to you is, don't feel like you're so far away. You know what I mean? Because you're not that far away. Okay. We're not talking about a lot of different strategies here. We're just talking about understanding how to put a few together. And then once you do that, you've got that whole board covered. Can you imagine what that would be like for you when you are calling homeowners and it doesn't matter what category they may fall into over here, they're motivated. By golly, you got the technique that you can maximize here to make the most money for you and your house and your team. That's, to me, that sounds incredibly good. Okay. And maybe you assign them away, or maybe you keep some of them now.